Hello, friends. I just wrapped up a show where several of my friends and I all shared works in progress and unfinished acts with a friendly audience in order to get some feedback. And it was really successful. I have some fascinating feedback with which to improve my act, and I am totally going to do that, but not today. Right now is for glitter crash and rest and playing. A glitter crash is like a sugar crash, but with a show, because shows are exhilarating and they energize you, and then they are gone and you are exhausted. And even for this show, which is a show where I actively limited the amount that I was willing to do, it meant that I wasn't just making my act or even just making my act and helping out my castmates with theirs, but I was also compiling all the videos and queuing them up so they would run properly and typing up all the polls during the act so that they could go live at the right time so the audience could give feedback, and keeping an eye on the chat so that if something came up there, I could address it later in the show as well. And it meant that there was quite a bit of cat herding going on during the show. And even though this show went remarkably smoothly, actually, there were quite a few last minute changes that needed to be made. And all of that combined meant that on the day of the show, I had to be present and on and available in a sort of social extrovert way for my castmates and the audience for really a prolonged period of time. And I'm an introvert, so that's tiring. I'm not so much of an introvert that I don't get a buzz from the audience. I definitely do. But I absolutely feel the crash. And this year I've been more isolated, so I've become even more introverted, and I'm feeling it a lot more these days. Even if I was more on the extroverted side of things, there are philosophical reasons that I feel like it's useful to have more of a giving relationship with the audience, where you are giving your energy instead of getting energy from them. And for more on that, check out my last video on act development. In any case, while it might be tempting to try and keep show-level energy and momentum absolutely forever and go into some kind of manic fugue state where you do absolutely all of the things with no rest, that's not sustainable. Certainly not for me with my introversion and my day job, probably not for most humans. But I have a pretty quick turnaround with a show in another couple months that is going to take a lot of prep work, so I can't take much time off, and I can't even lose much focus right now. What I can do, and what I did, is take the week of the show and the week after the show to just play on silks, messing around with stuff. It is rejuvenating. It reminds me of the just fun of Ariel. It is ridiculous and wonderful and gets me excited for new things, and it provides the beginning of some maybe new ideas for sequencing, maybe for some projects in the fall. And some of it was downright ridiculous, and so I am sharing it with you all. I really love this split position on top of a thigh drop from Acro Silver, but I have to admit that even though the split looks surprisingly good on my inflexible body, I kind of hate thigh drops. So the next time I play with it, I'm going to try taking the tail around like for a star drop instead, and I just hope it doesn't get too tangled. And I absolutely fell in love with this leg skill that I saw from Shirley Aerialist, but I was a little bit nervous starting it because of my aforementioned inflexibility. But it went shockingly smoothly the second time around, and because strength and roll-ups are my thing, I found an exit into Angel Roll instead of Music Box. I'm including this next one for purely comedic reasons. My friend and training buddy Hillary Eckberg suggested it, and I don't know what it is about my position or my body or what, but I could not do it without inexorably rolling face first towards the ground sort of immediately upon letting go of my feet. Maybe I need a wider grip or a wider straddle or heavier hips. Maybe I should try it with a weighted bustle. If you think you know what will solve this for me, let me know. And I'll try it the first week in June after my next show. For now, this one seems like a dead end, but it is at least a very funny dead end, so I'm happy that I get to share it with people. Usually I would take a month or even more to decompress and play around in between shows. It's one of the big advantages of having a day job and not needing to hustle constantly for opportunities. But this time around I do have a pretty tight turnaround with my next show, and I am super excited to share all of that with you. The script is written, the cast is cast, and I can't wait to start working on the Zoom Circus show that goes wrong. So mark your calendars for May 29th because it is going to be fabulous. In the meantime, what do you do to stay creative? And do you notice a seasonality or a cyclic nature to your focus, your training, or your creativity? I would love to hear about that as well. And until next time, bye.